Alright, what is going on, people of the internet, and welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival Evolved Max Speed, and this is actually the first one that I recorded in a couple of months, so hopefully I'm not too rusty, but we're going to be looking at one of the best in the business, the Thylacoleo. Now, if you missed the video that I put up a couple of days ago talking about the best purpose-built journeying mount, spoilers, the Thylacoleo won, and is that really a surprise? Can that really be classified as a spoiler? The Thylacoleo is a brand new dinosaur, and one of the themes with the Ark devs is to always outdate old dinosaurs and make pre-existing dinosaurs nearly obsolete, and the Thylacoleo, it does exactly that to the Sabertooth and probably the Direwolf included in that category, because I've tried to use Saberteeth since the Thylacoleo came out, but I just can't bear them because the Thylacoleo is so superior in every single way that you could possibly imagine. They have pretty similar gathering capabilities, but the fact alone that the Thylacoleo is so much faster, so much better at jumping, maneuvering, it's so much more tanky, it actually has more health than a Spino. And today we're going to be taking a look at whether or not a max speed build for Thylacoleo is actually worth its weight in levels. As of right now, I believe that the max levels that you can put into a dinosaur is about 71, assuming that you put everything in. The Thylacoleo starts out at a base of 130% movement speed and will get 3.3% movement speed per level. I can't honestly make the justification for making a max movement speed Thylacoleo, however it is certainly interesting. I would not recommend it at all if you don't have a very high-end computer. For example, myself, I have a GTX 1080 and a Core i5 4690K that I've overclocked, and the Thylacoleo gets to the point where its movement speed is so fast that Ark can't even render in the textures around you, and your game is freezing every once in a while, so it's really not worth its weight in levels, even if you have a really high-end rig and you're only playing with certain textures turned up, because I think my settings itself, I have textures on Ultra, and I have render distance on Ultra. Aside from that, everything else is on low, which is why my game can run at about 110 FPS. Thylacoleo, though, it outperforms my computer, outperforms Ark itself. It's so fast. Will you be able to get any use out of the Thylacoleo by putting an extra 30 levels into movement speed rather than health and weight? Yes, of course you'll be able to. You'll be able to get to that beacon slightly faster. If you're having a purpose-built speed mount and you're just using it for drop hunting and you're trying to beat people else on the server who are also going for drops, a Thylacoleo with extremely high movement speed, like 360%, will of course be better. Now you will get even more through breeding, which means that you're going to have even higher movement speed, probably up to 410%. But again, it's not really worth that at that point. A Thylacoleo is quite nice because unlike a Rex, where you're going to be breeding many generations in order to get that perfect one, a Thylacoleo you can really just go for one generation, and as long as you get the good stats from both parents, that's all you really need to go for, because you just need the stamina, and you just need the movement speed, and of course you're going to get the movement speed because, and you'll be surprised to hear this, I get a lot of people asking me why I, in the old max speed videos, went for a level 1 Pteranodon, when I could have gone for a level 150. As long as it has infinite stats, there's absolutely no difference in its mobility, because you will not be getting any more movement speed, barring imprinting. Imprinting a Thylacoleo will mean it's going to get a bit more movement speed, and it's going to start at about 149, I believe, and you're still going to be able to go very high in the movement, even higher than I would if it was wild, so you're probably going to get to about 410%, but I honestly think that once you get to 250%, that's all that you really are ever going to need, and even less than that is fine sometimes. A 200% movement speed Thylacoleo will do the job more than adequately. As you can see, my game is lagging a little bit, and sometimes there's a bit of a hop and a skip, and texture is being loaded in, and my game sometimes freezes, my frame rate drops to 2, and really that's a unique problem that many other creatures in Ark don't suffer, because the Thylacoleo is so fast that it gets to the point where it's unnecessary to go any faster. Not that it wouldn't benefit from it, it just, there is no point because you're so quick. You have practically infinite stamina with the Thylacoleo. You can see here, I've been sprinting since the Redwoods and jumping around and climbing things like a madman, and I've barely even lost a quarter, and that's the fact that it has 1600 stamina, but the real way that it works out is the fact that it uses so little of it while it's running. So you don't really ever have to worry about pumping stamina. I would recommend pumping a little bit of health, even though you're not going to be taking a lot from fall damage, like you'll see if I jumped off a cliff. I don't think I'll be doing it anymore in this video, but I really do not take any fall damage at all with this guy, and there's really not a case for pumping too much health. Maybe if you want to go to like 6 or 7k, it would be worth it. And the Thylacoleo can go through the air by the fact that it can climb things, it can go through the land extremely quickly, and it can go through the water extremely quickly. Frankly, there's no better purpose-built movement mount in the entire game, and we did discuss this in the previous video, of course. The Thylacoleo, if I were to say a couple more things about it, it is a direct upgrade to the Sabertooth in pretty much every way, shape, and form. The Sabertooth is unlocked at a level 45, the saddle, and the Thylacoleo is actually unlocked at a level 50, so you don't even have to wait that much longer if you're going to go for one of those guys, and that's a bit of an issue for me. I kind of wish that the Ark devs would make it so the Sabertooth was a bit of a lower level tame, but I really feel like that's the only way that you're ever going to be taking a Sabertooth over a Thyla in any situation. A Thylacoleo has another thing in its roster that actually helps it to fight things a little bit better, despite the fact that it doesn't usually have that high of a melee percentage. Taming a Rex at this level will usually result in 350 plus melee damage, but the average Thylacoleo will be barely breaking 300, and that's probably due to the fact that it has a guaranteed KO move, which is its pin. So if you don't already know, the Thylacoleo can climb vertical objects, which is pretty obvious, but it can also stop midway through there, and if you turn around and click on something, maybe just a little bit above it, you're actually able to pin something, and that will result in them being killed over time. They won't actually be able to escape it, and unless there's an outside source weighing in on that fight, so something attacking a Thylacoleo, say the person that you've pinned has backup, there's no way that that person's escaping, and you can pin up to Carnos and Stegos with that. So you've got a very wide range of things that you're going to get. You're never going to hit a Rex, of course, but a good amount of people are going to be able to get pinned, and you can pin other people on their Thylas alike. It's just very hard to hit. That's all I really have to say about the Thylacoleo. There's really not much better in Ark than it. If you want to go for a max movement speed one, go for it. There's nothing stopping you. Anyway, we do have a Discord set up, so if you want to play games with us, just hop in and join a voice channel. We'll usually be on shortly. I say we because there's a pretty big community already on there, and if you want to play games with us, just hop in and play. And another thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit, I'm not sure if I'm going to have any video footage to cover this part actually, but I kind of want to do like weekly update videos, and I noticed a lot of other YouTubers doing this as well, but I kind of wanted to weigh in on that as well, where I would just talk about anything that's on my mind, future content of the channel, taking into account what you guys want to see, and maybe doing a bit of a Q&A segment to that. So if you want any questions answered, just feel free to leave them in the comments. If I don't respond to them, that means that I'm either ignoring you, which is probably not the case, or I'm going to be featuring it in the next video, so that should idealistically be coming out in a couple of days. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of whatever we make. Thank you for watching. Peace.